Hello, welcome, magical souls, to another amazing podcast that we're doing. And today we are going to be talking about manifesting and aligning your vibration to the real path of manifestation. So, I'm Catherine Tack, author, artist, and Akashic Record reader, and today I'm joined by the radiant and deeply intuitive Oihane, one of my favorite people to talk energy work with. Over to you, Oihane.
Hi, everyone. Oh, don't worry.
I got your name wrong again. Sorry, Oihane.
Oh, thank you. I don't expect people to know my name well the second time, although this is my second time here. Hi, my name is Oihane. It's so lovely to be here. Thank you, Catherine, for inviting me again. It's just magical in this space. I feel like we said it last time when we met, the importance of finding like-minded people, even if we come from different backgrounds, to talk all things magical and to kind of elevate that vibration. So I'm really, really happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So, manifestation has become such a buzzword on social media lately. But the truth is, it's not new. I mean, it's an ancient element, it's energetic, and it's deeply connected to the spiritual laws of the universe. But what I've personally seen, both in my own life and through the Akashic records, is that manifestation isn't just about forcing outcomes. It's more about aligning your vibration with the version of you that already has what you're calling in. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think so too. And the aligning being like an essential part of integrating. So sometimes I believe that when we are thinking of aligning, we forget a big part of ourselves that we don't like. And a lot of the time, we are projecting from the place that we want to be from instead of from the place that we actually are in. And that is a big dissonance in manifestation moments. And it's such a journey. I mean, I'm still on it to catch myself when I'm projecting from who I want to be. It's like, how do I bring it back to who am I? Where am I today? And I manifest from this truth, not from the projection of where I want to be. And I think that's such a massive shift of perspective. It's takes longer a little bit because you are doing the journey of getting to know yourself, and again, getting to know the self of the things that you output out into the world, because they're the things that you like about yourself that you've been developing. And then all the layers, as if we were a tree, all the things that the people see and all the things that people don't see but hold the tree together, which is our roots and all that connection to the earth. So what do we carry? What are our wounds? What are pains, our generational trauma, all the diversities that kind of constitute a massive part of who we are, but we keep hidden a lot of the time from ourselves as well, because it's so scary to look at and we haven't been taught to look at. And I think a lot of the time, Catherine, with her work, and myself and so many others, we work on supporting others and ourselves to discover that part of it and not be scared of darkness, because it's just literally being under the earth, and that's where all the nourishment is. So once we're more in connection to that and more aligned to those roots, we're like, oh, okay, so this is who I am with all these layers, the things that I don't like about myself, the things that I do, the things that I project, the things that I hide. If I am aware of more and more of that every day, how much more powerful the manifestation is, because then you're in the truth. And the truth is the most powerful element for manifestation. I believe that when we move away from that and we're just in half of what we are in this projection of myself, you're not grounded. So, not being grounded doesn't allow manifestation to occur in the same way. So, when we talk alignment, we talk integration, we talk here, this is me, this is my truth. And from here, I ask. And from here, I receive and I trust. And that's immense. But in the smaller steps can be achieved. But it's immense as a shift, I feel. And I just believe that when we're manifesting, when we're putting our energy outwards, so we are being heard by the network of energy around us, the universe, however we want to call it, Mother Nature, God, whoever has the different words to describe the same place or the same energy network that we are sending our manifestation to, and we want to ripple out that energy, it responds to the truth. So if you know your truth, you would align your ask to your truth. If you don't know your truth, you're still manifesting from that essence where you are, even if your words are coming from a different place. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, 100% making sense to me, definitely. When I teach this work, I also talk about having, yes, have your big audacious goals. Those are good to have, but then kind of pack that away and focus on your day to day of how am I going to get from where I am here to there by these tiny little steps, and don't be afraid of those steps. So I think I understood that, and then also, yeah, I think I understood as well. Do you think I explained it well there?
Absolutely. And I completely agree with you, Catherine.
That's what you were saying.
It's
Okay.
like, it's like literally coming back to
Yes.
being you.
And also, when I teach the abundance workshop that connects to my abundance magic book, I also take people through what is the ego mind, which I think you were touching on, but maybe calling a different name. So when we have our ego mind sees these big audacious goals and completely panics and freaks out and self-sabotages us, and then we can't get to where we're supposed to go because the ego says, "Are you kidding? That's crazy. I can't do that from here. This is madness." So that's why I say pack those big goals away, have them because that's where you want to go, but then take those tiny little increments towards. And this also actually reminds me of what's been going on for me lately in the Akashic Records, because the Akashic Record Keepers and Guides told me recently in a session, they said, the universe is not withholding from you. You are simply not aligned with what you are requesting. When thoughts, words, and actions move in the same direction, creation becomes inevitable. And that was just such a powerful reminder for me, because often we think we're blocked, but really we might just be scattered. And a dream can't land in chaos, it needs coherence. And this reminds me of a recent reading that I did with a young lady who asked several times throughout the reading when this or that would arrive, because everything she was asking the guides did already exist. The guides said, this already exists for you. They even showed me a potential soulmate for her and described him in great detail. But when she then asked again, when will he arrive? So their powerful answer to her was as soon as she is energetically aligned with him. And that meant that she had to stop telling her old story about how few men are available in the world and how all the good ones are taken, and that she also had this very specific idea of what a man needs to be like. And specifics are great. We do want to write down that big audacious goal of what we want, but then we have to let it go. And I do like this reference. It's like we place an order maybe with Amazon or some company, and then it's like going and standing at the door, opening the door every 5 seconds saying, has it arrived yet? Has it arrived yet? Has it arrived yet? That's just craziness. We need to say that's what we want and then let it go. Let the universe do its job, or God, the creator, or your guides, or maybe, to coin an old phrase, the watched kettle never boils, because and the more you're standing there waiting for the kettle to boil, the more frustrated you're getting, and then more out of alignment you're getting with that which you've asked for. So it's like you're pushing that which you've manifested away from you. And instead, the guides encouraged her to make that her main job every day was to align with joy. When she makes a cup of tea for herself, imagine she's making a cup of tea for the soulmate that's coming in. Instead of feeling dark and lonely about the lack of the man, she should feel joyous with anticipation that it's coming and trust that it is coming. And there are other tools that the record keepers and guides recommend also. And they request also, for example, that we rewrite a story about what we want. When we write from our conscious mind what we want, then let it go. The focus is then on the positive. And another tool that I have to mention right now, one of the biggest ones, is forgiveness. And we have to forgive ourselves and others for all the past mistakes we've made in order to move forward.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's so powerful, Catherine. I listen to you, and the information as energy comes through is it's extremely powerful to hear. And I really appreciate you sharing that. I have seen that so many times with so many clients and with myself, with because we're human and we are taught to expect, and there is a level of expectation that is quite joyful and beautiful in the wish of growth. However, yes, we have a mind that can get really addicted to certain energies and drop the energy deeper into a space of grief, and that addiction to that um lower state of energy, because it's a space where we can uh, feel safe in a certain way, it does make it quite difficult to move away from. So I work very closely in the same way as you do with the little steps. Guides are bringing the same messages towards my clients when I work with them, and for me, the little steps, the daily joy, the pleasure, going back to connection with pleasure as a concept, beyond pleasure as something immediate that would fulfill, like an addiction, if we want to call it that, but pleasure in the sense of acknowledging the beauty in the smaller things, even things that might not be joyous at that, because sometimes some things are a bit rough and painful, but there is a level of pleasure of understanding the depth of these experiences. Um, it takes me so many places, but I wanted to reiterate, and I love that we are receiving similar messages from the records, from the Akashic records, even if we're talking about different clients and different people that are requesting that, because there is a sense of loneliness that is inhabiting so many souls at the moment. So, in those aspects, and more in finding a soulmate or a partner, it really becomes tough. And that energy starts dragging on. And as you say, Catherine, the information is always, if you let that drag you, then your energy won't be receptive to anything that might be coming your way. It might be straight, it might be someone that you already know, but you're not vibrating in a way where you can actually access what they're bringing to you. And that, but at the same time, how do we work in not blaming ourselves? Because now we think we might be the problem because we're not allowing this and we're not allowing that. And that key step of the little things, and try and fill one of the massive things that have come through in the past months, to be honest, with different sessions, is fall in love with yourself. Make make space. Fill that void that you're feeling that you want someone else to fill inside of you with yourself, with actions towards yourself, with taking yourself on a date, go to the cinema, do the thing that you wish you were doing with someone else. As you're saying, Catherine, have that cup of tea in that space of joy. Um, Same with actions that are out of the house. By falling and creating a relationship with you. And I think more I see that with women. I'm sure with men it happens as well, but probably a different experience. And I don't want to be kind of binary in this, but I had that more from women clients, where there is a sense of despair of, I can't do this on my own, or I feel a void inside myself. And that's a massive wound that we all carry. The separation wound we carry since we're born, because they cut the umbilical cord, and that's it. Trauma is created, and we then live with trauma of our lives, and that's what it is. However, and then how do we regenerate that void? And what do we fill it with? Because if we still hold the void open to bring someone into that space, for them to fill that space, is still going to bring a certain level of toxicity, or we are bringing someone that is willing to fill a void, so to take away a certain part of your power because of their own experience and trauma. And that's when we can also get into relationships where that is a level of weight. So again, when we're manifesting and aligning, where are we manifesting from? Because it will come, but it will come with every single thing. So if we're manifesting from a place of, I want this void to be filled, that's okay. It might be part of your process and it's something that you need to do in your healing process, and that's fine. However, acknowledge that because you're requesting for the void to be filled, there is certain things that you are giving away to this person that is filling that void. You're giving away a certain level of power, you set a certain level of independence and freedom that you carry within. So what type of relationship do you want to be in? Are you in a place where you're holding that void and filling it with you? So the person that comes doesn't need to save you, doesn't need to fulfill a gap, but actually accompany you as a partner, hold your hand instead of come inside of you and take that away. And again, I've gone through that. I think we all have. It's part of the journey of healing. And we can fall into that quite quickly, even with very healthy partners, when we're feeling quite down and we're allowing that space and that dynamic to happen. It's part of the human relationship experience. But knowing where you're manifesting from, it's so important, because if something comes, you might not recognize it because it's more aligned with your, as Catherine was saying, with your actions, or where you're at actually, what your unconscious is manifesting is like, fill this void, I feel lonely, or I want a partner. So in your head, in your manifesting head, in your brain, I want a partner. In your body, in your wound, I feel alone, I'm in pain, I want someone to save me. And you see, and they might come, but what you expect and what they bring is different. So how do we align? That's the journey. That's the journey.
Absolutely, I agree more. And while you were talking, I was actually thinking about my personal journey and what I've been through. So, in my younger years, I experienced a lot of chauvinism, a lot of negativity from men towards women, a lot of oppression, a lot of that sort of thing. So then, when it was my turn to actually find somebody that was healthy and a healthy, good match for me that would stand next to me, not lean on me and not let me lean on them, I had to unthink those thoughts. So I had to start focusing on how many men I'd met in the world that were well balanced, and started to feel my body shift, my heart open, and start to feel that love for the men in the world. Because believe me, before then, the type of men I was attracting, you could write a book. It was hilarious. They were just the very off balance, very wrong for me, etc. Because I was off balance. I wasn't in, my energy wasn't clean. So I understand that. And then since I've been working, and that was magic, because then I did attract a very perfectly balanced, evolved soulmate, which was very exciting. But the record keepers and guides, they talk about things like, they say the thoughts create the blueprint. So when I was thinking about how there are many men in the world that are very high vibrational, not all of them are angry at women and trying to bully them and do whatever. So there are many, many men in the world that are like that. So that created my blueprint to find somebody. And then my words, I started to say things like, isn't that man nice? And isn't that man nice? Not that I was doing it in a romantic way. I was just connecting with the male energies of the world. And then, so the words were doing that. And then the actions embody the timeline. So those three things coming together is the manifestation triad, which is what the record keepers and guides work with. So you want your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So make something positive, like some people have a dream board, or sometimes it's just a painting or a vase of flowers that celebrates, for example, in my case, that was the opposite sex, so that I could have a romantic relationship, or whatever it is that you want. Make an affirmation of some sort to that that thing that you want to attract into your life, but come to it from a place of joy, like I did, so that you get the right solution. That's my 2 cents worth.
No, definitely. And I think joy is massive. Trust is a massive one as well. As you were saying with the Amazon example, that's so big. You've put it out there.
Yeah.
Chill out, trust, release, let go, forget. I remember, Catherine, when I met you and you did the work with the dragon, and that's been such a key element for my work with myself. Um, you can ask Catherine all about it, or she can tell us about it. But the thing of allowing something that is weighing heavy on you, that you're manifesting, and then anxiety is coming through, because it can happen, and allowing for something or someone like your dragon to carry that weight for you, and like releasing it from you and trusting that that is being in the magical timescales that are not 3D timescales, is working its way through to you. And then your job is just to be, and to be, and be in joy, and be in emotion. I know I don't want to kind of go back into it, but it just makes me think when you tell about your story, there is such a massive pattern, because my story is very similar. The level of toxicity was immense. I mean, I've been married and divorced. It was a huge process, a very massive learning curve. And I think I, it's hard to say this, but I'm grateful that I went through it, even if it's really tough to say it, because the learning took me to where I am today. And I'm not in a perfect place. However, I have found a partner, or we found each other in a way where we are feels we are both in our truth. That doesn't mean that we're perfect. That doesn't mean that there's learning to be done. That doesn't mean that we don't quarrel and we we have disagreements, but we are in our truth and we can communicate with each other, which is what I wanted when I was manifesting. I kind of stripped down. I had so many ideas again when I was younger, what this person looks like. And then I was like, I stripped down to what is it that is the key element for me. I was like, after all these crazy experiences and madness and being alone for a while because I needed to kind of disconnect, I want to communicate with my partner and my partner to communicate with me in a healthy, consistent way, because I need to feel safe. And I have not felt safe in my relationships before. And I wonder, it's time we don't think about safety. So I would just say, keep that in the back of your head. Safe beyond not being abused, which is obviously basic levels, but safe in the sense where you can be yourself, change mood, be complicated, not knowing what you need, having emotions, being a cyclic human like we are, and being safe. Being that with the person that you love, even if they don't completely understand, that you feel supported and held and heard. That was massive for me. And how I got to that was a moment of clarity. I've always been searching for a man, even if I didn't say it. I didn't want to acknowledge it, but I was. I was searching for a partner, and I was like, I wanted love. And then I went to the face, I'm fine, I want to be alone. But ultimately, I wasn't aligned with my truth, because inside I was still seeking, searching, yearning, needing. Needing was key. And there was maybe 2 weeks in my life, 2 weeks, where there was a level of clarity and calm. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. There was a joy of being fulfilled by my own experience of life without needing anybody else, which again it was 2 weeks in my life that I felt that. And I've never felt it in the same way after either. It's been grounded, but there was a level of, I don't know, magic. And then this person appeared, and we weren't even in the same country, and we didn't speak for months, and it doesn't matter, but there was a sense of, and it took months for us to even find a way to be together or even try. It was very organic and it took a long time and there was many things that happened in the way. And the whole process, even if there was moments where I was very tense about it, I just let go and I trusted. I was like, oh, well, if this is the person, fine. And I did do actions towards it. I moved country. However, it wasn't in search of being with him. There was an understanding of this is beautiful. I need a change of my life anyway. He's come to my life for some reason. Moving might not be for us to be together, but he's making me move energetically. So I will do the actions that are coming from this manifestation. I feel like my actions are aligned with moving. However, I always was aware that that didn't mean that we would end up together. And that made the difference, where I wasn't expecting from him or from that specific thing, but allowing this manifestation that opened up a door that was magical, but not holding on to the person behind the door, but holding on to the experience that this person was allowing me to have. And that was key to align to the manifestation after it's been answered. Because I feel like sometimes we do receive what we want, but once we get it, we hold on to it for dear life, and then it breaks, and then it feels like it wasn't that. So that other side of the manifestation. But I'm diversing here, Catherine, from our conversation.
No, you're not actually, because my next thing that I was going to talk about anyway is that the universe listens to your vibration. So
Yeah,
you are spot on. So you were saying one thing, but your vibration was completely different. So
totally.
it doesn't listen to your vocabulary, and that's why a lot of my clients get so frustrated because they feel like they are writing down their goals and they're creating their vision boards, but they're not actually getting anywhere. And the elements that they are asking for are just not arriving. And I can talk also about the book I wrote regarding manifesting an abundance magic, and it includes a pack of oracle cards to help you know which part of your abundance you need to focus on and work on. So by choosing the cards with your non-dominant hand, you are then working with your subconscious mind, who is connected to your truth, and then you can actually work out what actually it is that you need to work with, and what actions you need to take. And I had to actually manifest the book by switching off some very interesting negative habits that I had personally had adopted accidentally. And I had to forgive myself for the mistakes I'd made when trying to attract certain things into my life. And for example, I was focusing too much sometimes on the lack of what I had. So I was constantly worrying about money, and then and achieving my goals, and in so doing I was accidentally pushing the money away from myself. So like I said, the universe doesn't seem to speak English or whatever language you speak. Instead it speaks the language of energy and vibration. What are you really feeling? So sometimes meditating can actually bring to us what do we really want. But anyway, what do you think? You have something to share, a moment when alignment changed everything for you, Ayana?
Oh, what a great question. And I didn't think I was going to speak about this today, but now I am. Um, it's precisely tapping into that subconscious and finding tools that bring me to my subconscious. I was traveling with my ex-husband for years. We traveled on the road and we were in Guatemala, and randomly we arrived in this little town, and we would buy some ruins, and we were artisans, so we were selling our artisan work. And this lady, local lady, came and she was like, oh, I've got my shop there. Would you like to exchange some of my work for some of yours? And I was like, no, this is your home. I'm gonna pay for your work. She's like, no, no, I want to exchange it. She was lovely. And I was like, well, what would you like for us to do? And she's like, I can read your Nawal. And I was like, what's that? What's that? I've always been spiritual, but till that point, that day, I had never acknowledged my spirituality as something grounded, as something to speak about. It was just there. And your Nawal is the Mayan cosmovision, is very ancestral knowledge, is based on astrology. I mean, I then stayed there for a month and learned a lot with them as a family. But that day, she sat with me and she was like, "Well, I'm going to read you now. When's your birthday? Da da da." And she's like, I'm going to tell you what your spiritual animal is. And I was like, oh, that's fascinating. I was like, oh, I'm sure I'm a snail or, something with a shell, slow moving. She's like, you're an eagle. And life changed for me there. And sometimes exactly what you were saying, Catherine, something that access your subconscious and changes the narrative that you have about yourself because of what you've been taught, because of where you are. I was in a very dark place in that relationship. Then she read his Nawal and he was a turtle. So I had become him. I had kind of merged into him so much that I had forgotten who I was. And I was just thinking that I was him or an extension of him. And that was so clear in these animals that she showed us and all the information behind it. From there, it unraveled for me to break up and divorce this person eventually. It opened up my world to spiritual world. And here I am today. And this is nearly 10 years ago now. And it was an instant of someone bringing a tool ancestral to them, that she carried the knowledge from her ancestors, that she very kindly gifted to me as an exchange. I didn't pay with money, I paid with my own work, with my embroidery. And it changed my life. And from there, I think the unraveling, and I connected to that language as well. And I'm now learning to discover my own language, because I don't believe in using languages that are not culturally mine. I mean, I reverence Mayan cosmovision because they opened my my mind to the symbolism, and I will go back to it because it's a tool that helps me a lot. But I am in the path of remembering what we carry here in our own lands, because we all had that before Christianity. The symbolics are there, the energy of the animals and nature there within Britain, within the Basque country where I'm from, mythology exists. So all of that are tools from the subconscious that we use, and I use in my workshops, in my meditation, and what we were discussing in the previous podcast of going into the inner elements and integrating nature within us to have an access to that subconscious, to allow us to align into that truth that is ours, that we so easily can be moved away from because we are a lot of the time broken and overwhelmed. And it's good to be very gentle with the fact that we are in those places, and not be judgmental, as you're saying, forgive ourselves, but not be judgmental in the fact that we are broken, because we all are. But how do we implement tools that bring us that level of understanding of that part of us, that intuitive being that is living inside, and just creating those channels of communication? And I agree with your book and your cards and my meditations and my workshops. They're all tools with different languages, but all aim to the same place. Bring your subconscious, bring that side that we hide, that intuitive side that has been oppressed for generations, into the center of the communication with ourselves. And then that's when we manifest from. We don't even have to say anything. Eventually, we don't even need to manifest, because that's aligning, I feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just nodding and just absorbing all the words you've just said. So beautiful. Wow, I could listen to you all day, Leanna.
Oh,
So,
same, Catherine. This is it's joy on my side too.
so I was thinking, because you mentioned the dragon earlier, we should do another podcast on dragons, because one of my favorite subjects, and I teach a 2-hour workshop on dragons. So I think we will perhaps pencil in a little dragon discussion in the future. But I really appreciated everything that you said. It was very, very powerful. What I'd like to kind of finish our talk on today is helping people with a shift, a simple, gentle frequency shift to help people align with the timeline where their manifestations already exist, because we live in a quantum universe, so we can do these things, these magical things. So I'm going to, if everybody could just get comfortable now, relax, find a very comfortable position. You could be sitting, standing, I really don't mind. But we're going to take a moment to align with your future self. Okay. So let's start breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you're breathing in now, just start to focus on bringing in those very beautiful energies, from those crystalline energies from the center of Mother Earth. Let's bring those in now. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as we inhale now, let's focus on connecting with the energy of the sun behind the sun, that great central sun. Let's breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a moment now to feel very safe. Allow your body to soften. Let all the weight of the world fall by you. Let it all fall away. And feel the weight of your body supported beneath you. Supported by Mother Earth. Feel your shoulders soften. Feel your mind to begin to unclench. And just imagine a version of you. The version of you who has already manifested the thing you desire. She or he exists right now in another layer of reality. A timeline already open, already waiting for you. See this version of yourself in your mind's eye. Notice how they stand, how they breathe, how they move. Feel their confidence, feel their calm. Feel their sense of course this is mine, of course I have this. And now just breathe that version of you into your existing physical body in this timeline. Let their energy move into your chest, into your throat, into your mind, and repeat quietly. Repeat after me. I align my thoughts with my truth. I align my words with my intention. I align my actions with my becoming. And just let that frequency settle. Let that future version of you merge with the present version of you. Let your timelines become one. And in this moment, we are inviting in all the archangels to assist us, but especially Archangel Zadkiel with his blue-violet flame, because he has come forward to transmute and dissolve any blockages that you feel have come forward while you're trying to connect with your future version of yourself. I know I can feel the energy of some of you saying, am I taking something away from a different version of myself? And Archangel Zadkiel is saying, no, you are not taking anything. This is you. This is a version of you. Your left hand can shake hands with your right hand. It's part of you. So if you are struggling with that, then just let it go. Let Archangel Zadkiel do his magic. Remove that block from your mind. And now repeat after me again. I align my thoughts with my truth. I align my words with my intention. I align my actions with my becoming. And we ask Archangel Gabriel to carry these words into our throat chakra and align our throat chakra with these thoughts, these intentions, these actions, these words. I can sense some of you feeling very blocked in your throat chakra. So we bring in Archangel Gabriel to bring a wholeness to that part of you so that your truth can come forward, so that you can allow yourself to align with the magic of the universe and your future self, the magic of your future self that has already achieved these goals. And we bring in Archangel Raphael now to help you embody this newer version of you. And we sense that he is grounding this version of you fully into your body so that the chakras align. That future version of yours, crown chakra, aligns with your crown chakra. And so too with the third eye, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, all other chakras, including the root chakra. And we're even going to work with the earth star chakra, which is about 1/2 meter below your feet. We're going to fully align with that one as well, so that you are deeply immersed and grounded into this newer version of yourself. Allow that newer version of yourself to have the same eyes as you, to have the same ears. Your ears are aligned, your eyes are aligned, your mouth is aligned, your shoulders, arms, torso, legs, feet, everything is aligned. Everything is one. You are one with that version of yourself. And remember that it is your birthright to live your most magical life for the highest good of all. It is your birthright to bring heaven to earth. And in this moment, you are aligning with that truth. Let's take a moment now to thank the archangels for their assistance in moving us, shifting us. And on the next breath in, you can start to feel maybe the chair at your back and the earth at your feet. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and come back to the call.
Thank you, Catherine. How beautiful was that? Oh.
My pleasure. I could feel your energy on the call. It's different when I do it live with somebody. It is actually quite different. So thank you for being here with me. And I think it's just amazing how little it takes to bring ourselves into alignment when it's not force, when we shift our frequency, and when it's not pressure, but it's like a permission that we're giving.
Absolutely. And it's so lovely to think that just by sitting 3 minutes and listening to your voice today, but again, with so many gentle tools for a day-to-day that can allow us to make those spaces of connection, integration, and listening, and bringing that space into when you listen, you are listened to. So listen, I believe that I would say from today, integrating is a massive task, but listening is the first step. And we are very scared to listen to ourselves. So if you make space like this, by listening to you, Catherine, I was listening to myself, and how beautiful that is to then open up and allow for that listening from the universe to come towards us, and recreating that channel for the manifestation to then go out. So yeah, the universe will respond when you listen in, and then that channel opens. So thank you.
My absolute pleasure. And I just want to say to our audience today, if you would like any further information, maybe to book a one-to-one session with either myself or Oihane, you can check out in the description. I've got everything listed there, so do take a look at the book, or having a one-to-one with Oihane is incredible. She uses the animals that she spoke of today, and she really helps you really shift and make some very deep changes in your life. So I will end there and wish you all to stay very magical.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Sending you all loads of love in these darker days of the year. Just hold yourself tight for the ride. Thank you so much.